Hello, everybody. We are back with Make a Good Mega Man Level Remastered. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Hello, I'm Neith. I'm joined by my co-commentators, the usual faces for the Mega Man games, snoruntpyro and TimeLink.
Hi. I made this series.
Alright, I'll take it away first. That was awkward. I'm TimeLink. I've been here a couple times running other Magmammal games, but I will not take away Neve's honor here, as he is much better at this specific game than I am.
You're better at the game than me.
True.
Alright.
Hi, I'm snoruntpyro. You may know me from spearheading this game and Magmal 2 and 24 Hour and 48 Hour. Actually, not that one. And Episode 0, not Magmal 3. Hi.
Alright. I guess I'll get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
Alright, good luck, good luck.
So this is Make a Good Mega Man Level Remastered, which is basically a remake of the first game. The first game was made in a different engine than the other games, so it was a bit jank. And so it was so jank that we just went back and remade the entire game in a new engine and recreated everything about it.
Including this beautiful level.
Including everyone's favorite level, which I hope you're enjoying right now because it's over now.
Yeah, as actually kind of usual for most Magmammal game speedruns, well, I guess Magmammal 2 shuffles things around a bit. This time we are going in reverse order, meaning, or not reverse order, intended order, like bad levels to best levels. This is a contest. There were 20 total entries. The last one you saw, Objective Vein Space, I believe was submitted for the sole purpose of bringing the count up to 20, which is very interesting. But
at like 11 p.m. at night.
Yeah. Here's our first actual level, 19th place. This is called Rush City. It was also in Magmammal 2. It was kind of a throwback stage.
Did you call it Rush City?
What?
City
oh my god, you just got owned so bad.
Okay, well, you saw what the problem was with the stage.
Yeah.
That was on purpose to show off City Wars' beautiful collision.
That's right. Yup. Yup.
Yeah, this level has some problems that were, I think, unintentionally caused by the engine back then when it was made. Basically, like, a lot of time when there's a floor overlapping with an enemy, there's just no collision there, and you can there's just a lot of random holes in the ground that you fall through. We can go over... Oh...
Okay. I have no idea what to do when I don't have any rush ammo, so... Okay, I actually can't go through that. Okay, that's a disaster. But, well...
Yeah, what we meant to do was go over the ceiling right there.
What is this guy doing?
He is,
top of the wall and then
he's winning.
Exit on the other side safely, but...
Floors it,
we should be able to make it to the end from here. It's not very far.
Okay.
Okay, good.
That was not alright. I just lost like a minute. Well, yup.
Yeah, as you can see, that level was 4 judges' least favorite, so, you know, it's not hard to tell why.
To give you a better explanation, if you're familiar with GameMaker at all, you can check delete underlying in the room editor to delete overlapping objects, and almost every sprite center for the enemies in Magma 1 was at the bottom center of the sprite. So it would just delete collision if you didn't, you know, uncheck the box.
Fantastic. The level we have right now is quite literally called level and nothing more. It's as you can see, much nicer than the previous one. It just kind of exists. It doesn't really do anything offensive, but it also just is there, which is why it's in the bottom tier. Another level that is not just there, but is in the bottom tier for a different reason is the next one. This is the last one of the tier. It's called The Quickening, and if you have ever played Mega Man 2, you may recognize now why it's called that. This is definitely one of the more difficult levels, especially early on.
Oof.
This is going
One thing we
wonderfully
should
so far.
mention, you see all the extra lives right here. In this game, they just act as health refills. But the reason why they're there is because the original Magmammal did not actually have infinite lives. So the creator was at the very least thoughtful enough to give the player a ton of lives right here in the checkpoint room and at the very start. But as of now, they don't really do anything anymore. They're just there because they were in the original level. Thankfully, it's really short and sweet and spicy, but... Oh, sorry?
You can turn the lives back on if you want.
You
Yes.
can, but why would you? Alright, and that brings us to the end of our first tier, which means we're facing a tier boss. This is him.
I
Just
don't
him.
like him. He's my friend. He's gone now.
He's my savior.
Yeah. He replaces a different boss who was there in the original, who was not comfortable being there, so... there were... things were slightly shuffled around as far as tier bosses go, some are in a different location. There's one who was expected to be taken out by the public, but wasn't actually, just kind of retconned. And, yeah, there are 5 tiers total in this game. They're barring, holding on to 20 entries. Only 4 of the tiers have tier boss as to not take away from the spotlight of the winner. And we'll be slowly seeing these levels increase in quality. Well, for the most part. This is an interesting level. It's a fairly long and difficult one again. It's called Chroma Key's main gimmick is that every section is based on a color. There are a ton of enemies of that specific color, as well as things like Gemini laser barriers. This section's pretty dangerous. You can actually grind for both right here. There's a strat that we theorized at the very beginning of this speed game, involving buying a completely new weapon added to the remaster, but it turns out it's not generally worth any grinding and you don't get enough bolts to buy it along the way, so we just skip the bolt grind altogether at this point.
Yeah, this level is fairly
What?
infamous for having... Oh my god.
This is going horribly. It went so well in practice.
The marathon curse.
Oh no.
How?
Yeah. It's
How?
very easy to just fall
The
in
game
around
is fighting
this
back.
level. Definitely an enemy spam heavy level.
I don't think this has been mentioned yet, but also, this is no skips, which means, in this category you don't use the green teleporters that let you skip a couple levels. So they were in City War, in the Quickening, and there's one more level that has a skip later.
Yeah, that level is in tier 3, and
Yeah.
you'd be surprised.
It's an interesting
It's
one.
it's a different type of bad. Not even necessarily bad, but it definitely warrants
Fireflies
a
are out for
skip.
blood.
But yeah, no skip teleporters. This level does not have one, even though you could argue, but you know. Remind me what this level is called? I honestly forget.
Sunset Siege.
Sunset Siege, that's right. You may applaud its wonderful aesthetic background with some random tiles from a completely different tile set.
I love the blue tile in the corner. It's my favorite part of Sunset Siege.
In
There's
the
not too
original.
much to mention about this level. In the original, sometimes you could get screwed over because when trying to use Rush Jet to skip passages like that, in the original game, Rush Jet was super finicky, and if it touched basically anything at any point, in any way, then it would just go and disappear on you. That's since been fixed, obviously. And something else that has been fixed is, in the original, you were able to just lodge Rush Coil into a wall and get a ton of height easily that way, but unfortunately that was also a bug and has been fixed since.
I forgot that was a thing.
How could you?
The Magma 1, the original, is literally over 6 years old now. It's
Whoa.
ancient.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
able to go to, like, middle school
Okay.
in a few years. I almost said kindergarten, but I guess it would be in kindergarten right now. Buster only, you'll be pleased to know there are leaderboards, online leaderboards in the game that do have Buster only as a category. So,
Yeah. Not only that, I think it's fine to say this game has something you unlock when you 100% it. that being a selection of cheats that you can choose to replay the game with. And one of those is like a specific cheat that makes every level in the game beatable using only a specific weapon. So Buster only, for instance, is completely possible, unlike in most Magmammal games, as well as any other weapon of your choice. Like, if you wanted to play the game using only, I don't know, Solar Blaze for some reason? Or Top Spin?
Top Spin only is awesome, and Thunderwall only.
Oh,
You
yeah.
both did full runs to that.
They're epic.
Yeah, I guess we haven't really talked about this yet. If anyone's not familiar with the concept of these contests, this is not like a super typical Mega Man game where you start out with nothing but your Mega Buster and maybe a few utilities, and then you beat the Robot Masters and gain their powers, and then beat up Wily. We will go and beat up Wily, but the Magmammal series has you always start with 8 weapons from the start, which I believe are voted on usually. I don't know how exactly it was for this game. Remind me.
It was voting. It's just that since Magma was barely a thing yet, like 10 people voted.
I see, yeah. So you have the classic, like, obvious voters like Metal Blade, even though it was significantly nerfed in this game. It doesn't have, like, infinite ammo anymore, and it's not quite as good. You have some fun gimmicky weapons like Top Spin and Black Hole Bomb. You have the Piercing Gemini Laser, you have the Magic Card. For some reason you have Thunderwall, but, you know, it has some uses, I guess.
Thunderwall's awesome in this game.
It has been buffed significantly. Like, all the weapon sets have been changed from their original counterparts to be, like, more or less balanced. I don't believe this game's voting had, like, weapon categories yet, like future Magmammal games.
Yeah, that's why this game has no shield weapon for some reason. I mean, I guess the unlockable weapon is the substitute, but not in the initial weapon set.
You could use
there's
Black
one
Hole
more
Bomb as
weapon
like...
unlock based on the winning contest entry, but we likely won't be seeing it today.
Yeah. The most notable change is Top Spin is very useful now in speedruns because when you're top spinning, you're completely invincible, and it still only wastes energy when you hit an enemy. So you can kind of just spin forever and spin through bullets, as is demonstrated right there.
Yeah, Top Spin actually really shines in Sky Ziggurat in particular, because there's a lot of points in the level for we have the little bombs on the pits from Bombman stage of Mega Man 1, and you can just top spin across all the gaps, or you can like drop down for the Susies right here. There's a section at the very end that just has like a giant drop of Susies that you can just top spin through. Unless we're not going that route, I forget. This level has like a bunch of different paths you could take. And in the original, where you were able to just get a ton of height with Rush Coil, you were even able to skip a ceiling and then skip ahead further in the level, but that's since been fixed, of course.
We fixed all the ceilings, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We had to fix the ceilings in every
Ceilings
Magmammal
have
game.
been a problem in Magmammal development occasionally.
Shoutouts to SVBU01P, who's fixed every ceiling in the known universe.
Yeah, the latest Magmammal game is actually very actively in development now that development on things like 48 Hour, or back then even like Episode 0, was still like drawing a lot of power from that, but it has been long in the making, and it'll soon be... the result stream will soon happen.
I was going to talk about that later, but yeah.
Alright, yeah.
More Magmammal games are constantly being worked on. This one came out in 2019. Here's Yoku Man.
Yeah, Yoku Man! This fight is very interesting because there's a super fast cycle you can potentially get if you
bad luck.
You can land 2 Gemini lasers on Yoku Man each time.
Barely missed one cycle.
Setting. And if you manage to do that, you skip this whole waiting phase. And that's supposed to be like a whole nother thing where he cages you in a bunch of Yoku blocks, and you are supposed to be unable to shoot him for a while. But Gemini Laser actually does clip through the blocks if you just go straight up to him and fire it through. So it's not a very long fight either way, but skipping that unforced waiting phase is nice when you get it. But
It's a
super hard
10-second
because
loss.
the blocks, like, Yoku Man randomly decides the block layouts, and sometimes, like, there's one set in each that's a spike, and it can be difficult and luck dependent.
Tier bosses are pretty optimized, I guess, since they're only like 10 seconds long when you're hitting them with your weakness all the time.
Yeah.
The tier boxes are made by the developers who put the compilation game together to just, add out something extra.
Yeah. We are in Tier 3 now, and this level is the Wily Combo, also referenced in Tier 7 of Magma 2. That's where the joke originated from. This level uses a bunch of Wily Wars graphics, I believe. This is, in particular, a remake of a whole bunch of Wily stages, which is called that. But it's not all that difficult or spectacular.
It used to be a nightmare, but I'll get into that part later.
Alright, yeah.
I lost my train of thought.
This level did the ultimate crime of trying to emulate Mega Man 1 Wily 1.
True.
No.
No Magna Beam, so you got yoku blocks now. Magna Beam is in Magma 3 though.
Oh yeah, it is. Magma 3 will be spicy to speedrun. I mean, there's a whole 180 entries to go through, and even more energy elements to collect, so I imagine a lot will be required to even get the 80% done. But, yeah. Magma games vary greatly in length. This one's only about 1 hour, 20 minutes, and then Magma 2, you're generally bordering on 2 hours for the shorter categories. Then there's only been one recorded speedrun of Make a Good 48-hour Mega Man level, which is the most recent one to date.
It's almost
no
4 hours
really
long.
Interested in it, but it just keeps getting longer and longer because the contests are gaining in popularity and getting bigger and bigger.
You will do the 50-hour long Magma 4 100% speedrun when
I did, in fact, yes, I did promise to Pyro that I would do Magma 3 and 400%, which
Good luck.
is a scary thought. The Magma 200% category is about 10 hours. This game, it wouldn't even be that long because there's very little extra content, but as of the more recent contest, there was a ton of side content and extra bonus post-game stuff, optional modes and all that, and it'll be crazy.
The name of the game with Magma is making the most extra contest compilation possible.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what the series is all about. Yeah, on topic a bit, this is Napalm Forest and Caves. It's a super long level and it's not exactly easy. There's instant death around everywhere here. There's a super nasty section where you fall on the Mega Man 5 gyro blocks and there's a spike drop and you have to maneuver it. And dying in this level is pretty darn painful. Definitely one of my least favorite levels to speedrun.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of levels are painful to die in this game just because there's not a lot of checkpoints running around.
Yeah, this section in particular, you want to take really slowly and carefully. You can easily get dragged into the spikes by Mega Man 5 gyro block because they persist across screen transitions. At the final section here as well, there's a bunch of these Napalm Man missiles right here. The level obviously being themed after Napalm Man from Mega Man 5, just greatly extended and a bit remixed, I guess. But yeah, death here is especially problematic. You can really run into ammo problems if you die right here.
Yeah. I think I should be okay.
Scary.
Save balance is difficult in all communities, yeah. People have definitely learned a lot since, but also, with every contest, the lows get lower, but also the highs get higher, so, it's a trade-off.
People have gotten
that item's on the
better at
game.
placing more checkpoints.
This level, this level...
damage spikes instead of instant death, so that's helped.
Yeah. This level has the interesting apt name of Hard to See Land. It's mostly black, but there'll be one part at the very, very end of the level, which is in minute 30 maybe, where it will in fact be very easy to see and it's very hot on the eyes, so I'll point that out again as we get to it. Yeah, this is relatively standard. It's just a whole bunch of, I don't want to call it enemy spam, but, yeah.
We're coming up on the bunny section.
Oh yeah, this section is actually very interesting to speedrun, because you have these tops going up and down, and you can make some interesting cycles if you are truly an expert at your utility usage. There's a bunch of like weapon-specific blocks, like the top spin here, getting in your way, trying to make it more difficult, but oh, I didn't know that ladder extended downwards. That's
it's interesting.
Question mark? I didn't know that either.
Alright,
I wasn't the one who was remaking this level, so. So the other thing not mentioned is that Magma 1, as was stated at the start, was very buggy, and one of the most infamous bugs was that I wasn't very good at coding moving platforms. So you would just clip through the top platforms a lot of the time and just get stuck, which made this level way harder than it should have been.
Wait, like...
Oh yeah, by the way,
bright
warning for
colors
bright colors on the screen right now.
I don't know why this is even in the level. It doesn't add anything meaningful, and just kinda... It's like... Especially when you've been stuck in the level for a long time, that just is so grating.
Yeah.
Alright,
if anyone looked away, it's bad.
This level is interesting. So this is the other one we are talking about with Skip Teleporter. This is Maze of Death. It's intended to be one of the largest levels in the contest. But through a bunch of interesting sequence breaks, we can like tear this level wide open. You saw Neef damage boost for a force beam hole using damage from a banana earlier. Now it's gonna skip over the ceiling, and then the biggest part, taking damage right here, sliding, firing Thunderwall, and we're right at the end. Well freaking done. This level is so fun. This is one of my favorite like ILs I did for this game. It's so good. Also, Big Fish Walk. Wasn't that, like, fixed, like, from not working in the original game sometimes?
There was a bug in the original dev kit that made it so you walked when you, grabbed an energy element. And the victory fish existed because of that bug, and I had to manually code it in for the remake. I had to make so much stuff for Maze of Death.
By the way, that was Dagger Man.
That was Dagger Man. He's dead now.
Not very long fight.
Yeah,
break my boss?
I believe Dagger Man and Yoku Man switched positions in the remake.
Yeah, Dagger was in tier 2 in the original. I don't even remember why we switched them at this point. Where the game is aging, it's so sad.
Alright, so, this level's called Under Construction. Apparently, its music led to some, copyright problems. So we just, you know, don't have music for the time being, but, we do have an interesting fact, because this level was made by someone that, most of you should probably, know, because, they were quite literally in the last event held here, not even an hour ago, I believe.
I was watching a bit of that. Yeah, 128 up at this level.
It's pretty good, yeah. So we're getting into the good levels now. This is tier 4 out of 5, so we're soon approaching the top 5 of this game. And this level is just it's nice and grumpy, I guess. There's not much to say about it.
Wasn't 128 up the reason there's panditas in this level in the game?
Oh, I think so. I originally didn't code the pandas for Magma 1, and then I think 128 asked, can you add the pandas to Mega Man 6? And I was like, yeah. So now they're here.
That's an awesome story, actually.
The original Magma 1 dev kit had like no Mega Man 6 enemies for some reason. But now we have all of them.
Yeah, now the dev kit like for the dev kit for Magma 4, by the time that eventually rolls around, will have basically everything in existence ever. It's already, like, the dev kit as is, the Megamix engine, already has just about everything that you could possibly want. As like, pretty sure it's got basically every enemy, it's got a ton of bosses from across the game, a ton of weapons, pretty much all the tile sets and whatnot, yeah. So that's, like, a really easy resource to make Mega Man levels in.
Yep. It's pretty much feature complete for 1 through 6 and 9 and 10. We forgot the Pump Man bubbles. Don't worry about them.
Oh yeah!
And the Starman meteors, but it's okay.
Look, the Starman meteors were acknowledged, but fine. We'll get around to them. This level is Spikey Meltdown, if I recall. This level has an interesting secret that I don't know if we'll see today. I don't know how out of the way it is. Actually, I have never seen this myself, but it's probably one of the more difficult levels up here in the higher tiers. It's super long. Again, it doesn't have like a super good amount of checkpoints, and these car sack platforms, I don't know why, but for some reason, once you slide, the only way to get out of the slide is to pull back. And you cannot slide jump on the car sack platforms, which leads to a lot of unintentional deaths against spikes or the lava here.
For some reason, that's actually intentionally coded in, and I don't know why. Look, I'll be fair, I'll have to fix it. It's fixed in like every other game.
Yeah, fix coming in Fangame 1 Remastered Remake Redux.
No.
Damn. Fangame 1 Final Mix. I would actually support this. Not too fast though.
I'll remove all the skip teleporters to make you mad.
I have a history about pyro and bug fixing things in speedrunning. There's been
the eternal war.
We're gonna see it.
Room.
Yeah. This room is atmospheric, shall we say? This has actually been referenced in another one of Stove Guy's entries in Fangame 2, Beneath Sand and Rock, where there was a very similar room you could find by going beneath some quicksand. I don't know what the original intent here was, but it is, in fact, yeah.
Who knows? But it's awesome. I like to see that funny little guy.
Big shoutouts to Stove Guy, by the way. Did a lot of work on the Fangame 3 and like even previous Fangame games. Also, no! Oh, okay.
It's okay.
Guys, it's okay.
Guys, it's okay.
Yeah, that jump scare at the end gets a lot of people. I think I was a little late on the trigger, but fine, it's fine. This is Thundercliff Plan, except it's not spelled quite the way you would envision it is. This is one of the levels where Magic Card is really useful in the original, but unfortunately it's lost its ability to pierce shields in this game, which makes it a lot worse, so yeah, we just gotta like top spin for enemies like that, or find other ways around them. Solar Blaze has become really good in its place, getting through a lot of shields like that, and just kind of melting down enemies in general. I just always cry about what we lost in Magic Card because it was such a good weapon.
Yeah. Solar Blaze doesn't pierce all shields, which is really sad.
It should. I don't know why it doesn't pierce some shields. It's supposed to. The great thing about Neef running this game more in the lead-ups to the marathon is that sometimes Neef just says things about Fangame 1 Remastered being broken, and I'm like, huh? What? Huh? Why is that broken?
Classic.
Wrong dog.
Yeah, there is a difficult climbing section right here that like a shield weapon would be really handy for, but nothing in this game really serves that purpose, so we have to like stall on the ladder sometimes, get rid of enemies like these. It's really easy to fall off, you lose a bunch of time. Thankfully, Neve has a good handle on the situation.
If you couldn't tell, I despise crazy cannons.
There's so many crazy cannons in this game because, I mean, they were some of the only enemies in the dev kit. So, you know, they're just in like half the levels.
The wonderful infancy stages of Fangame. It is really nice to take a look back at this game and, to a lesser extent, even the original. The original is something else.
That's why the remaster really exists, just so you can see all the content in Fangame 1 without, you know, dying.
Yeah.
Research facility made by the person who made Mega Man Maker. Fun fact.
Good level, except for all the crazy cannons.
Yeah, this
There's
level...
so many crazy cannons.
This level's really interesting because it features what I think is our first custom entry bosses, right?
Yeah, I think this is the first chronologically.
They saw the weapon archive referencing, in this case, bosses from Mega Man 1, 2, and 3, and then later on 4, 5, and 6, and the Wily Castle largely based on the one from 7.
Shoutouts to
Why didn't you wait at the Kamagoro Maker for 7 hours?
Oh yeah, I should do that.
What? Wait.
Did you not see that video?
Wait. What? You must tell me. What the hell?
I woke up. I'm just gonna tell the story. I woke up one day. I looked in the speedrunning channel that we have in our Discord, and I saw a video of Neef, who decided that it would be a great idea to go into a research facility, have Kamagoro Maker just be there, turn the invincibility cheat on, and just sit there for 7 hours and let Kamagoro spawn infinitely.
What?
They don't go away unless you kill them, so it just spawns infinite Kamagoros.
Oh my god. That I would have loved to see.
Oh, me too, Spin. I tried to fix it. It's a 7-hour video of just Kamagoros covering the entire screen, and I think it's one of the greatest videos ever made.
Lo-fi Kamagora spawning to relax and study too. Oh my god.
You know, speaking
He
of
is also the very same person who has called every single 4-digit phone number in Magmammal episode 0 and documented all of his findings. Because there was a fun gimmick where the dev team like added this Z phone into episode 0, which is one of the spin-off games, and there are 4-digit numbers you can call, and you're certainly only supposed to like call characters in game who'll give you their number, but there are also like special joke calls that you can do, like if you enter 8008, which is boo upside down. Then like you get a funny joke message, and Neef took it upon himself to manually call every single number for a joke call.
I salute and am slightly scared of your determination. Actually, very scared. What am I talking about? 7-hour Kamagoro Maker.
That wraps up tier 4. And this boss is interesting because he was changed pretty significantly from the original. This is I can't even remember how much he was changed, but he was like expected to be taken out of the game due to some. Oh, I don't even remember the exact context.
It doesn't really matter. Whatever.
Yeah.
All that matters is that now he splits into 2 because I think it would be funny.
Yeah, he's been a retconned replica, I believe, and that fight is surprisingly interesting. I tried to optimize that fight a lot when the game just came out. Fundamental is the weakness is very awkward to handle, let me just say that.
It's awesome, though.
Yes.
Yes.
Alright. So, hello, we are greeted by Thomas the Tank Engine from square root of -1, and it's time to go into not the top 5, but the top 4 entries, because they have to be split evenly across the tiers. This is number 4, Citadel Basement, and it's, I have some personal problems with this level, but, I expect nothing less of me than a first try. Yeah. This level is really, really long. This section here cannot really be cheesed with utilities like Rush Jet, not that it would even be significantly faster. So you have to ride this Guts Lift, which always drops down when it reaches like the fin lines. One of the most infamous gimmicks from Mega Man 1. You have to ride this thing all the way to the end. And I don't believe you even get a checkpoint right here.
No, there's no
you still have to
checkpoint.
do this
This is
entire
scary.
descent, and then there's a very tricky section at the very end of this, and only then do you get a checkpoint, and it's super infuriating to die here.
Yeah, you have to redo the whole long section here. if
Carefully.
you risk it.
This is what we all miss Sakugane from Magmammal 2. Alright, nice. Good one. Alright, so this section on the other hand, there's a Guts Lift that's supposed to drop down right there. Takes a while, but this section's actually made in such a way that we can, in fact, effectively skip it with Rush Jet, and it is faster. There's like some slightly tricky stuff that we have to do, like leading Rush below a slide gap that we then slide through and then jump back on top of him, but we have just enough ammo pretty much to do this entire section with just Rush Jet instead of waiting on the Guts Lift, and because there's a bunch of opportunities for us to slide and such, it is actually faster. Oh, I always jump off and do the slide, but I guess it's not really necessary. Rushjet does consume consistent ammo regardless of whether you're on him or not as he flies across the screen. I believe that was different in Mega Man 3, but why would anyone keep that?
Yeah. Mega Man 3 is the one with
What?
Oh no.
How'd I run out of rush jet ammo?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, that is really bad.
Yeah, there were a bunch
hold
of
on.
additional points he could have technically dropped off. Alright, it's fine. Neve has an M-Tank, which, yeah, I guess we haven't really talked about this yet if anyone doesn't know Mega Man. There's generally, in most games, two types of energy tanks. There's the E-Tank, which is, you know, the literal energy tank, but also M-Tanks, which refill not only your full health at any point, but also all of your ammo for all weapons. Some games also have weapon tanks, like the newer Magmammal installments that specifically focus on refreshing weapons, because you can carry 9 E-Tanks at a time, but you can only carry one M-Tank ever, so yeah.
Oh, that is really
That's,
bad. That is,
yeah.
I'm supposed to be low here.
It might
Well,
actually
at least
be
the
better to
Gutslift
just
doesn't
take the
despawn.
Gutslift,
Yeah.
because you might run out of ammo again otherwise. I don't think you're gonna
Yeah,
make
you're definitely
it.
gonna run out.
Ah, that's so infuriating. Why did...
Yeah, you saw what he was going for. It just, the ammo barely didn't make it. Like, there's a couple extra like platforms where you can safely get
This
off
isn't
the rush
enough.
jet.
Luckily, the Gutslift is still here.
Yeah, it does in fact like spawn and follow you all the way, even if you do try to do this. So if you fail, you can just take this. It just takes a bit.
That was messed up.
I don't recall if you get a checkpoint at the top of this section. I think you do.
I
do.
actually don't remember. Oh, you do? Okay.
Alright, yeah.
Even though this section is way easier than the first one.
Yeah, definitely. That doesn't mean you can't die here, speaking from experience, but...
Yeah, there's some pretty
you know.
scary spots there. But we're through.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah, scary and hard level.
Yeah, definitely... probably my least favorite level in this tier, yeah. In general,
Love it or hate it.
the levels in this tier aren't all too easy in a speedrun setting, but there is one that I really personally like, and it is not this one. This level's cool.
Crazy
but-
cannons!
Oh boy. Yeah.
Crazy cannons, they're back!
Woo! So this is Neon Gravity. The gimmick here being these black holes that redirect your bullets in an orb, and the switches that you have to hit.
I'm gonna try
They're
for
only
this.
hittable by the Mega Buster, but the ooh,
Okay, I made it.
okay, all according to
Take
plan.
those.
The bullets fired by the Mega Buster are obviously the same when you have Rush Jet or Coil equipped, so we can do like things like that, where we will use Rush, Coil, or Jet to get to a specific spot like that, and just fire pellets from a position where we weren't intended to, and make this a bit faster. Now it's been introduced that the ring rings from Mega Man 4 work the same way as those black holes, redirecting shots, which makes some future segments quite difficult. But yeah, in general, there's a lot of consistent strats for most of this. It's a really cool level though.
Yeah,
also-
for some reason 8-bit Take On Me doesn't trigger content ID, but Burst Chaser music does.
I don't even know what it is about Under
Love
Construction
you
that
too.
it does. But
It's
yeah.
like an anime
This
opening.
is
I think.
literally like an 8-bit song. Just yeah.
I don't know how the content ID catches 8-bit remixes from ROM hacks. It's so weird. The moon is awesome. They're from I forgot what game they're from.
Kokoron, I think.
Pilgron, yeah, I remember the name. Yeah. They're just some random NES game. Here's Gravity Man, he's gone.
Yeah? This man
doesn't have
does not have
iframes.
any iframes for some reason.
L plus ratio, plus you don't have iframes.
Snoruntpyro's favorite. Did I see that right?
Yeah, this was my favorite when I judged Magma 1, but we can all change.
Yeah, this level is
I mean, I
painful.
still like this level. I know Neef does not like this level.
Absolutely
Yeah,
not.
I'm not too fond of it either myself.
I still like it.
It's okay. This is basically, what if Mario was in Mega Man? It's called Mega Man
Mario's
World,
never
and
been
it's
a
a whole lengthy level with a bunch of annoying as enemies. It also does suffer slightly from lack of checkpoints, that I will say.
Yeah, it is pretty long.
Okay, I'm gonna get owned. Help.
Most things in this level do hit like a truck. By the way, this is Ron Res, not to be confused with Res.
I think I did that. Okay.
It almost
Yeah,
happened
one.
again.
I forget if it's still in this game, but in the original, there was a bug where if you killed one Ron Res, then you just paused the game and unpaused. The rest would like accelerate and then fly off screen, and it would count as a win.
Oh.
Yeah, I fixed that, sorry.
Aw, sad. Sad. Pyro's a real joy kill. You heard it
I
here
think
first.
this level is the reason why. I think there's like some jumps you couldn't make otherwise. For some secrets. The reason why Brush Quill launches you way farther than it's supposed to in this game. Because I coded it wrong in Magma 1. I hope you like my friend Charging Chuck. And Pokey and Piranha
No, I
Plant,
don't
all my
actually,
friends.
sorry.
Oh no, they're terrible. Especially the piranha plants.
Oh yeah, it is
I will
right.
admit the Piranha Plants are a little annoying.
In Magma 1, there was like a specific order that the judges went through each level in judging, and this came right after
Yeah.
City Wars, so naturally it got like a bit of an inflated score, leading to it being
That's
second
why
in
we
contest.
randomized the judge order now.
Yeah.
We all have many mistakes to learn from, and that's why Magma 1 and Remastered exists.
Yeah? Fine.
Things have gotten a lot flashier and cooler in the later games.
Absolutely.
Tune into the Magma free results stream, coming soon, TM. Oh my
Die.
god, charging Chuck. Hammer throw.
Yeah, I don't know why Solar Blaze doesn't pierce through the shield. I really don't. I could not tell you.
I actually hit that.
Blacky 2's coming soon. He has 256 HP. Can you kill him? You won't.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I just never bothered to try and kill him. Because it seemed like impossible. And, well, it just about is. Oh. That's so upsetting.
This jump is painful.
You can't kill him.
Ah! I'm going to die to Birdo again. I died to Birdo in
what?
one. I died to Birdo in one of my PBs, I think.
See? I mean,
Oh my
you know, I've
God.
made similar mistakes in the past, but look. Yeah, this is the level's boss. It's Birdo. You literally did not even see her, and that's the level. It is in fact
Goodbye,
impossible.
Birdo.
It's possible to kill Birdo and crash into the egg and die, I believe. I want to say they only do
Yeah.
1 damage.
Birdo's trick.
Yeah, this level, this is the one I was talking about. This is actually a really fun level to speedrun, IMO. You get a lot of good use out of topspin here. This is the winning entry, Glassman. Main gimmick, or like, there's a bunch of gimmicks, but there's these guys who will constantly try and put up shields, but you can get through them with Gemini Laser or just kill them before they ever have a chance to. You have these dropping platforms, you have the crystal droppers. Nutton and Bolton make common appearances in the stage and can be easily negated by topspin, and this level just flows super well, like, when you know what you're doing.
Did you know, in a contest called Make a Good Mega Man Level contest, the winning level is a good Mega Man level?
Yo, real?
You might be onto
Yeah.
something.
I think I figured it out, guys.
This person did in fact actually make a good Mega Man level. The prophecy has been fulfilled. And being the winning entry and was this the only, I don't know. I think this was the only Robot Master, like custom Robot Master.
I think?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know why I think it is.
Having this special position, this particular Robot Master, Glassman, received a weapon of his own in the remake called Power Orb, which, Power Orb is interesting. It's a shield weapon much like this that lets you bounce around the room, ignore spikes and such. It's really fun, but I think the most awesome thing about it is that it's broken, because, if you use it in a slide gap after activating a screen transition, for some reason your, like, firing controls get unlocked, and you can fire it while in a slide state, which with power up just clips you in the floor and lets you skip a bunch of stuff in some levels. It's 300.
Fairly off to not buy Power Orb, huh?
Yeah.
We're a little cheaper than we could definitely route it in, because there's a skip in Wily 2, for instance, where you can like use the clipping with power, but alas, we shall not.
Yep, now that the entries are done, here's the Wily Castle. Made mostly
Wily's
by the
up
judges.
to no good again.
In the
These
original
stages
game, it was
have
all
been like
judges.
the entries weren't allowed to be significantly altered, of course, but these stages have all been significantly changed from the originals.
Yup, they all got remade.
Some of these are like completely different, like all new things pretty much.
I made this one, yay!
Not to say, this is your stage. Why don't you talk about it a little?
I like bullets.
Do you like crazy cannons?
Don't
there any
climb up
crazy
the
cannons
ladder.
in this
Worst
level?
mistake of my life. There are no crazy cannons in this level.
If we did get Power Orb, going up that ladder and taking that alternate route is actually faster.
Good thing we didn't, so that I don't have to see. I don't have to see it again. I can't take it anymore.
Well, I have a specific history with that passage because, Power Orb is required for the majority of sections, but there is technically a section in which it is not, in fact, required, and I proved that. And that was only one of the things that I have done to make Pyro very upset when playing Magma. And well,
You're my mortal enemy.
Yes.
Good thing that sand skip is finally real.
Wait, is that known? Can we talk about that?
I was being vague on purpose. No, it's not known, but I wanted to say it 'cause it's funny. Sand skip is real. I will not elaborate.
There you heard it! Sand skip is real in Magma 3 and it will be utilized.
Great.
Magma is a great series of video games that has brought me great joy in my life. By the way, Pyro, you're using an auto-scroll, so I think it sucks.
I like using autoscrollers.
Guess you did in your Magma 2 Wily stage as well, huh? Alright, look forward to Pyro's Magma 4 Wily Stage 1 where there's an auto-scroller.
We'll see. My Magma 3 entry has an autoscroll.
Oh my god.
I use autoscrolls a lot. Sorry. Not sorry.
You know, my own Magma 3 entry has auto-scroll, but there's actually a way to skip it. Unintentionally so, but there is a way to skip it. This is Scuttlecat and Pyro. What do you have to say to your defense?
I put legs on the cannon. I hope you like it. He's gone now.
What got into you?
I thought it'd be funny.
I see. Okay, that you know, I'll accept that. I can get behind that.
I'm a little bit crazy. Cannon. What?
My favorite enemy.
What?
I need to stop saying things.
This is true. Let me start saying things instead. This is Wily 2. I think it's called the Incinerator Chute. You can probably see why. I don't know if she's here right now, but this level was made by Cheese8, and it's pretty good.
It's fun.
There's a lot of unintentional shortcuts we can take, because like a large part of it is like breaking down these dust blocks, which can actually be hurt by every weapon. This specific screen we can also use power orbs, like activation, like resetting your mid-air velocity to like skip into that gap right there. And this particular slide gap right here, if we were to use power up right here, we could skip down into that room, and then that would skip the entirety of this room, which is actually pretty lengthy. So, like, ideally, if, like, in a random scenario where you were to just get lucky enough throughout playing the entries to have 300 volts by the end of Glassman, you could buy power orb and save, like, I don't know, at least a good 20 seconds, I would imagine here, maybe more with the other skip. But, alas, I don't believe the world record currently uses power orb strats.
No, there's just not enough bolts.
Yeah, that's always the problem. World record
Zips
holder
are my enemy.
being Neve, by the way, he's very good at this game.
Yeah.
You
Zips are my
couldn't
enemy,
tell.
but power orb zips are okay. They can swim.
They're very situational, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they can stay.
Yeah.
It's not like Magmal 2 where you can just ruin everything.
Oh yeah. It's very fun.
I ruined Pyro's life in Magmammal too, but that is something we already saw in past Fangame Marathon events.
Yeah. I actually only realized recently this game hasn't been in a Fangame Marathon before. Kind of.
Yeah. We've had 2, we've had 24 hours,
That
and we've
was so
had
close.
1 in the best fashion imaginable. So, Oh yeah, episode 0 as well. Really the only thing left that's out at this point is 48 hours, so who's gonna step up for next Fangame Marathon? Any volunteers?
Absolutely not.
Oh no, I will not. Help! I've made enough promises to you.
Right.
Yay. That boss, Chanky Master, has a quick kill, but unfortunately, Neef did not get it.
It's 1, luck dependent, and 2, really precise.
I didn't even know it had a quick kill until like last week.
She didn't know, chat. Alright, this level's interesting. It's called Be the Bigger Person, and this was pretty much entirely remade. Not by the person who originally made it, but by Ace Spark, who's a judge for Magmammal 3, for one, and has also just been doing a lot of other work for Magmammal. They are featured in Magmammal 2 as a costume, technically.
Yeah.
But yeah, this level's entirely different. The concept is that, as soon as you kill an enemy, there is
What? Okay,
What
cool.
happened?
Wonderful. I don't know what I was going for there. Trying to rush it to skip the carousel, but got spiked.
Yeah, you see these red outline doors throughout all the stage. If you ever kill an enemy in the current room, then they'll become white and solid, and that's basically like your incentive to go for here in a pacifist fashion. You like sometimes lock off path, sometimes it's not important, sometimes it's faster to kill enemies and take like another path, and later on in the level it will actually be mandatory to kill enemies, because like the on enemy kill triggers work in your favor and you have to use them to progress the level. But yeah, this level is basically unrecognizable. It's split up into this section now, where you have to go around these paths twice. To teleport at the top, you have to take them both, and then there's like a section where it mixes things up with the aforementioned gimmick.
By the way, when the original version of this level was made, Undertale was less than a year old. This is relevant.
Uh-huh. Oh my god.
Is this an Undertale reference? Yes.
But yeah, now you have these like broken heart blocks that are already solid as you come in, and then you have tantalizing enemies that chase you like that, that you really want to get rid of, but you definitely cannot do so, because else you will just quite literally die. Then you have time sections like these, where you just have to hurry the hell up and time jump at the very end, like that.
All of these Joes deserved it.
Yes.
Oh, my enemy.
Did you just feel like killing the sniper, Joe, or does the teleporter not activate until he does?
I don't think he activates until it's dead.
Alright. I just had to be sure.
Yeah, I think it's locked.
Magmammal teleporters like lock on stupid occasions. Like, Magmammal 2s, I believe, didn't allow you to enter when you were still on iframes. And then I think Magmammal 3s don't allow you to enter while sliding, which I think sucks, and they should fix it.
Yes,
Okay,
please fix it.
but I don't want to. It's
Okay, but you will. This is a threat.
Maybe for Magmal Whore.
You.
I don't know, it just feels right to me. I don't know why.
What do you mean? What's right about
Mega
that?
Man 5! It's like Mega Man 5! You can't do that in Mega Man 5!
I hate Mega Man 5.
Okay, but
Oh,
Mega
I
Man
know.
5 sucks.
Alright.
It kinda does. It's okay.
It's okay. Let's talk about this boss instead, because this boss doesn't suck. I would like you all to listen
Gotcha!
very closely when this boss dies.
You don't have to listen very closely because the sound effect is actually so loud.
Is it?
Alright, goodbye,
This
Shadow
was-
the Hedgehog. Sayonara,
Best boss
Shadow
in the game.
Gotcha.
It also, this boss completely replaced the original. That was, like, in the original it was called Ghost of Mega Man 3, which is quite literally just an endurance fight, where you would just run out the clock, avoiding various enemies from Mega Man 3, and it was, not that exciting. So, now we have Shadow Gotcha, which is infinitely better.
Here's Hall of Fame. Original was made by Mick Galbani, who's one of the contest hosts for Magma 3, but Spin Attack actually made this. Because some people are busy sometimes. That's how it be.
That happens. This version's pretty good
Crazy
though.
game.
It's pretty good for speedrunning. There's a very interesting Gutslift section, and you have a bunch of options to take at the very end. There's also a very nice choice of like pick your own mid boss in the middle. This level is like based around the winning 4 entries, like all the tier 5 entries, so it remixes a bunch of stuff from that, resulting in a very interesting amalgamation boss. But yeah, that's the concept
Did
here.
you see the Ghost of Mega Man 3 was the boss in Wily 3 originally? No, it was just a bunch
it
of
not?
grayed out enemies. It was called Shadow Marker. It was boring.
Oh,
Probably forgot about it because it was boring. Ghost of Mega Man 3 was what Scuttle Cannon replaced. Gravity Man's
okay.
back! Oh boy, I sure hope he doesn't die.
Yeah? You also have the option of fighting
Huh.
Glassman here instead, but like, why would you? Why would you ever? Avoidance, not endurance, I have to speak out with the guy here, yeah. I actually was literally, like, calling it that in my head at first, but I figured it would be more technically correct to say endurance fight in our terms, but...
The
Of course, you are right.
is in Magma 2. It's fine.
No, yeah. We did literally showcase the avoidance
first
fight in
time.
Magma 2 during a past Fangame Marathon event. That was quite fitting.
It's even synced to the music. It's just like I Want to Be the Guy Fangames.
It is a really good fight.
It's pretty
Also, you can
good.
just get this E-Tank even if you didn't take the other path.
Yeah, well, don't
Right.
really need it if you bought a bunch of extras.
Yeah. This this section's very interesting. Neith is going for the all-out approach, it seems. You can again do the section entirely with the Gutslift. There are some interesting maneuvers you have to do, but it's not all that difficult compared to Citadel Basement in the grand scheme of things.
There's
Like,
also
it's
a
easy to get
checkpoint right
knocked
there,
off,
so-
but, yeah. Alright, so, this boss. Everyone assumes this boss's weakness is Metal Blade, but it's actually not. Somehow.
It was Metal Blade in the original, I think.
Oh, was it? Huh.
Spin will probably know. That's Neon Glass Bardo on a Guts Lift. I hope you like him.
Mm-hmm.
Or, I don't know.
Now for the impossible stage.
Alright. This stage.
This stage is hard.
This stage is hard. It's, I think it's called Everything's Blowing Up, and,
It sure
Solar Blaze
is.
in the original. It was Solar Blaze, but Solar Blaze actually does more damage in Magma 1. Or in 1R, I mean.
Okay. There's too many bullets. Get me out of
yeah,
here.
this stage uses wind gimmicks that can be really hard to play with, as well as count bombs, and a bunch of just annoying enemies, like the Piranha Flowers from Mega Man World, and the fan guys from Mega Man 2. I'm really not up to speed on my Mega Man knowledge. I'm naming so many gimmicks just... Oh, nice jump. By the original stage.
Getting rusty.
Damn.
You're not a lore master.
Yeah,
you
I've
need-
been like on classic retirement. I've been sucked into Battle Net with Star Force speedruns. Sorry.
It's okay. My brain is all Battle.Arc and Star Force now, too.
One thing I did before I like stopped speedrunning Magma, at least for now, was make a complete speedrun tutorial for 24 Hour. I don't know if this had been made by the time we did that 24 Hour run back then. I don't know if I did back then, but there is at least one of these games which has a complete tutorial and can be done in like 20 minutes. So that's probably your easiest entryway to Magma speedrunning if you care. Although, you know, the real easiest is just doing ILs, which is what got me into that as well. Just Magma ML2's, like, in-game leaderboards and ILs.
Okay, that's
It was really fun. It was a good time. Very competitive. This is sketchy.
Okay, that's not all
you
right.
gotta... Yeah. I think there's a checkpoint right here, though. No, there isn't.
Oh. Yeah. This level will do you like that sometimes.
It's close enough, but these rooms are tough.
Yeah.
Shoney camping the ledge.
Problem is if you died like too much, or even just once, can be a problem, because we're using a lot of weapon ammo to deal with all of these rooms effectively, and then you may have problems on repeat attempts just getting through.
Okay, there we go. That was
There we
fun.
go. Yeah, that's how you wanna do it.
Thick.
Man, it always scares me when you do the top spins into the mizzles over the pit.
It feels really good though. Alright.
Well, here he is. It's Air Capsule.
Yeah. This is based on a super long-standing Mega Man joke that probably just about everyone knows, but I am firmly convinced that Neve can, in fact, defeat Airman. Good job. Good job.
Yay! He's gone.
Good.
He says I lied because if you talk to Airman in the hub, he says he's not gonna make an I won't defeat Airman joke, and then he does. Sorry, I lied. I forgot I put it in tank. I guess that's there for safety.
This was also referenced in the same person's Magma Mammal 2 entry where they made it a secret boss again.
Yep.
That's upgraded. Oh boy, Wily 6. This is the penultimate Wily stage, and it's not made by any one particular person, but the infamous multi-person.
The nefarious multi-person.
Yep.
AKA me and Spin, because Spin made the boss. I think it's actually just credited to me.
Oh, is it?
But it is in this game, yeah. Because I did make all of them.
Multi-person.
The gimmick of this level is that it's like the refights in the usual Mega Man game, except you have to refight the entries instead. And I made them all more annoying. Because I have bullets everywhere. Annoying, but in a funny way.
It's not quite as lengthy as Magma Mammal 2's Wily 6, but it still takes a good while. This room especially is one of the worst. This is a chroma.
You will play his room, won't you? He's so happy to be here. He's so happy.
These Gyotats are,
fish jump scare!
terrifying.
Gyotat is my friend.
Oh, you can... Interesting. So the goal at the end of each little segment here is to shoot like the glitched out weird energy element thing. And you can shoot them with the Mega Buster, or you can pick them up. In that case, it seemed to have been just slightly off-screen when Neve shot it. That was interesting. Didn't know you could do that.
So scary.
Oh boy, this... We all know this entry just too well. Oh.
Yeah, that was way too early. Maybe I should just
Very
rush
easy to die. How long is Wily? Well, see, Magmal 2, you can't really make good estimates for, because in Magmal 2, if you so much as breathe on it wrong, you can go flying out of bounds and skip everything.
Yeah, well, it depends on the category. It's like, for things like New Game Plus, the one element category, you can do it in like 5 minutes. But in like a new game category, it's generally like 25, I want to say. Yeah, it's been a while.
Casual runs are usually like an hour, 2 hours long at that level. We keep making long final levels. Sorry. Secret block.
What?
I literally just found that out yesterday because Io told me.
Whoa!
I literally told Neve about it yesterday. Because it's funny.
Didn't. Wow. Okay. That's cool. I didn't know about that, damn. Unfortunately, the Yashichi will never be saved. I'm sorry.
Just go faster.
Yeah,
that's right.
Duh.
Just use like pile driver.
Oh, true.
Pile driver will be in Magma Mammal 4, and if it isn't, then I will cry. Everyone go and vote pile driver. It's the best
Yes,
weapon.
please.
Yeah, this game is probably the game with the least movement tech in it.
24 hour.
Magma 2 has like 24 hour isn't like a game.
Man.
Magma 2 has like super arrow and wire. 48 hour has Tengu blade and concrete shot. I don't know why it took me so long to remember that. Magma 3 has magnet beam.
Ice ball.
I don't know why I haven't even brought up Magma 2 as Match Blast, the greatest weapon of all time.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Basically a new game plus thing. I'll say 100%.
Unlockable weapons. They're fun. They will return.
They will return. There has been a preview on an alternate weapon set for Magma 3 already. You will like them. I for one am obligated to like the new weapon set because Sandskip. I will not elaborate.
Sandskip?
Yes.
It is worth talking about that particular mini section. That was Maze of Death. The intent was like to go around once left, once right, and then use the buster to shoot those blocks in the respective direction. But if you charge up a shot and just like slam yourself head first against those blocks, it is actually just big enough to take out the block from the bottom. So you don't need to do that neat detour. Also, big eye and an egg.
I so badly wanted to put a truck in the egg.
Oh my god.
I will do it one day. When you least expect it.
When will Truck's crimes end?
The Trucks or Nitro Man stage are a recurring threat in the Magmal universe.
Please hit him. Thank you.
The Wily Archives are back. I changed them slightly. Goodbye, Yellow Devil.
I think I called them Weapon Archives earlier. That's just the original. Oops. Don't mind me.
I don't care what their name is.
Oh my god, I forgot about a bunch of runes. I'm gonna run out of Gemini Laser.
Yeah, this stage is, I mean, being as long as it is, weapon ammo is a significant problem. You do, like, well, sometimes you don't, but you usually have the M tank to refill, once in this stage. But, do you have one right now? I don't remember.
I do.
You used yours. Okay.
I'm gonna go ahead and use that now.
Yeah, good idea.
This is one of the only Magma games that doesn't have the energy saver, so ammo can be a problem.
Yeah. Does this game have energy balance though?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
In the original, you had to buy the energy balancer.
Oh yeah,
it's
that's
majorly
right.
fucked up. Bad news.
Yeah, energy balancer, like,
Whoa!
where,
What?
Oh boy.
Oh my god. Yeah,
that would've been an
I
epic
noticed
save
this
if you did it.
earlier. For some reason in Magma 1, in later Magma games, you're just like stuck to Rush Jet when you're riding on it, and if you get hit, you don't take knockbacks. In this game, that's not the case. Honestly, the earlier behavior is probably a bug, but I don't care, it's kind of fun. I like the weird Rush Jet boosts that I've seen in some of the ILs for 48 hours and such.
Yeah, they're really cool.
I've done exactly one 48-hour IL in my life, and it's been my own level. I'm sorry.
Dr. Snicker is a joke name for the stupid tier 6 scientist. I hate him. I hate him. Great room, by the way.
Oh, what? Okay. I guess.
That's not his name. He doesn't have a name.
Doctors.
He will never be that. I want him gone. I'm gonna erase him from existence.
Damn. Magma 3 will retcon Dr. Snicker.
Yay! Clapping.
That's fucked up. Give Dr. Snicker the respect he deserves.
Hashtag justice for Snicker.
I won't. Release the Snicker cut. I don't know why.
Snicker cut.
That joke scares me every time you do it. Every time.
Oh.
I won't. It
Good
doesn't
one.
matter. Here's Spikey Meltdown.
I really wish, like, you could make a small argument about the, like, initial segment being faster if you do it on foot, but You know, there's a reason why we can do that.
Cossack platforms take a long time to get around with, so I'm not sure.
You know, you can't slide on Cossack platforms in this game, but at least they don't zip you into the heavens like they did in the original.
Yeah?
I guess.
Stupid dum
Those E-tanks are coming in handy.
It didn't matter!
Quick, use beat!
Gah!
I'm gonna beat you.
People will miss beat so much when Magma Mammal 3 rolls around.
Oh, they will.
Yeah. Beat is insane in 48 hour.
Yeah. 48-hour world record is probably free to take right now. I don't think the one run that's been done is very optimized because it was like just to show proof of concept more or less. So if you want the free world record on, actually it's not even on speedrun.com. It literally
Yeah,
but
not much
if you want
there yet.
if you want a free world record, then start speedrunning 48 hour now, and maybe we'll be able to submit it to the next marathon. Who knows?
Play ILs, they're more fun.
Ooh.
I forgot you can't grab ladders while top spinning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good thing you didn't die on the spikes.
There is no routing. It doesn't really matter what order you do the rooms in. I think Meef just does the most annoying ones first. But then sometimes also that's not the case.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter as long as you do them all, because, I mean, you have to.
I wish we didn't. Maybe one day.
I wish you'd stop talking. No, I'm sorry.
Wow.
I can't say that because in my heart I know that you're kind of right.
I'm very excited for Magma Mammal 3. There's a lot of options for just breaking things.
I forgot to mention this rush bike.
Yeah?
Welcome back to Under Construction. It still doesn't have music, sorry. This is my favorite room because of my many tricks. Here's the shield attacker parade.
Very satisfying.
And then the greatest room in the game coming up. The one where I put 4
Why?
Haris down because it's
Oh
funny.
yeah! Avoidance!
There weren't even any Harriers in Under Construction.
Okay, but consider, it's funny.
Good point. Good.
The quickening's back, and better than ever.
This
In
level
the first
also does
room,
not
there
have
actually
music.
is no...
Very fitting.
Yeah. Because the person who made the level had a game on mute the whole time they were making the level. That was the last one. Alright, we're at the final boss.
Unfortunately, we don't get to see the cutscene accompanying it, but this is the trophy machine. This is not what we call time. This boss, even as this boss dies, there's still one more thing that we have to do afterwards. So, I mean, I guess get ready on time, but it's not gonna be just yet. This boss has 3 phases, each one more aquatate than the last. This one's weak to Gemini Laser, last one's weak to Thunder Wolf for some ungodly reason, but, yeah.
The quickening too is in Magma 2. You can play it.
That is true, and it's significantly better. Shockingly, it's like the best no damage level for TX, I find. Because it...
I just used Swiss Hotel.
Like, either it just kills you, or you don't take damage. Alright. Wily has been defeated, and also this cutscene isn't skippable, so I think this game sucks.
Yes.
I'm gonna do something terrible to you.
Ah, love you too. Alright, this is the last thing in the run. Wily is making his escape as we speak, and he's trying to keep Mega Man busy with a decoy. Oh my god.
Could it be?
Could it be?
No.
Oh. Oh. Hi.
Do you like him? This is my son.
I gave
His
him a
name's
hug.
Zero. He loves being sticky to the wall.
Alright, time is as soon as this boss's health hits 0, which is, like, about 14 hits away, so do get ready on that.
You literally can't die in this boss fight.
Yeah. You also can't do more than 1 damage, sadly. And... Nice! Time!
Woohoo! Nice.
And that is Magma Mammal 1 Remastered. Good job.
We did it.
The beast. Yeah.
If you like this character, then you will be pleased to know that there is an entire Magmammal spin-off featuring just him.
He's a
Well, as a
playable
playable
character, and he
character.
can go very fast. I was at last
Yeah,
Fangame Marathon.
Episode 0 has awesome speed tech. It's been in a Fangame Marathon previously.
Indeed.
Alright, so that was Magma 1 Remastered. As was said earlier, this series is very fun, and we have a lot coming up. Magma 3 is the current game in development, the long-awaited actual sequel to Magma 2. Soon, a big announcement is coming. Probably this month. Stay tuned. Wink. That's my plug.
Also play 48-hour ILs. They're fun. It has Blast Wind.
Yeah, you can cheat everything by not taking knockback when you're
I
sliding.
feel like we've spent more time talking about the other Mega Man games than Remastered in this.
I mean, we had some, but I think it's fun.
Yeah, I
we
think
talk
it was
enough.
fine.
Sometimes there's not that much to say about Magma 1R. Like, oh boy, Midnight Snow.
Oh, yes.
Woo! I think we found a good balance.
I hope everyone enjoyed watching a lot of Topspin.
Yeah, this game's good.
1:12:51. That's actually better than my practice runs.
Nice.
Epic thunder outside that came through on my mic. Yay, Thunderstorm cameo appearance at the marathon.
Thunderwall.
Yeah, if you're interested at all in this game, or like any of the other games, they are all available to download for the low price of $0 or €0 or whatever the hell currency you use. And yeah, there'll be another contest after Magma 3 as soon as that's done. I don't know if there's any side stuff planned, but like, yeah, there'll be at least one more major contest. If you are interested in speedrunning these games, then just join the Magmammal Discord. We have a dedicated speedrunning channel right there. There's not exactly so much in the way of resources, really. The only thing being the 24-hour tutorial at the moment. But yeah, if you care to learn anything about even just ILs, not even full game runs, I know those can be intimidating because they're all like at least an hour. Unless you're doing an obscure new game cheat category or whatever. But yeah, if you're at all interested in any of the games in the series, then check that out. You're always free to hit me up, for instance, even though I haven't run these games in a while. And yeah, you'll just generally get help from a lot of people.
Yep.
And I think that's that. Neve, you got anything else to say as the runner?
Nope, not much. That's all.
Right.
Play 48 hour.
Yeah,
play all the other Mega Mammals too.
Yeah, definitely. In that case, thank you for having us here on Fangame Marathon once again.
Yeah, it's
Bye-bye.
always very fun to be on Fangame Marathon.
And thank you to the gang for showing up as always. It was great to watch. I had a blast. We'll be back in just a few minutes with Naro running Yu Yu Jiteki. See you then.